protection for both of us.
Right.
So
what's going
they
on?
can't say down the line that, he never
You
said
said this,
that.
I said that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And my goal here, and it should be your goal here, is the truth
Right.
about all this.
Right.
Obviously, we know, kind of what happened, but we want to get into a little bit of you and kind of, what your thoughts were about this and just kind of figure it all out.
Okay.
All right? So let's go back to like the very beginning of how did all this.
Starting off, this interrogator is doing an excellent job. He is kind and courteous to Manzi, building a solid foundation of trust between them, and isn't accusing the potential predator of any real wrongdoing. For the last few hours, Michael has had a difficult time expressing himself, and has likely felt completely isolated and alone. Everyone he's interacted with has assumed the worst of him, and he'd likely be desperate to feel some semblance of understanding. So by treating him kindly and not directly accusing him of any wrongdoing off the bat, Manzi is more likely to open up about what occurred here honestly. Moreover, he diffuses Michael's question about the camera in the interrogation room, though it's true that police interrogation rooms have cameras in order to protect both the officer and the suspects. The camera Michael pointed to is obviously not for security. We've seen and heard how poor the quality of the microphones and security cameras are in other videos, making it obvious that this footage was filmed entirely for the special. It was clearly large enough to draw Michael's attention to it in the first place. Michael's not an idiot like Jim Roach or Jeff Sokol or John Dupree, and is likely thinking about asking for some sort of legal representation at this very moment. Should the interviewer tell him that the camera is meant for the television special, and that anything said in this interrogation room would be shared on Dateline, he would likely clam up. So the interviewer deflects that question, making it seem like they are filming solely for his own benefit. He's doing a truly extraordinary job, especially when compared to previous interrogators we've watched in connection with these predator hunting shows.
Well, just talking online, really. I mean, just talking to random people. I mean, I've been going through a lot of things recently, and seeing a therapist and a psychologist right now, and I'm just trying to work out a lot of issues that I have, etc. And
Are you married? Single?
No, single. But I've been, just going through some rough patches, and I'm looking for an outlet to be able to try and speak to people,
Sure.
and just talk, and that's where I was. Just the app was kind of giving me.
Now, what app were you using for this?
I guess Whisper was this one that I was talking.
Yeah. Are there others that you use? I know there's.
Well, I mean, there's Whisper. There's I guess the other ones are. There's Scout. There's I guess just basically that.
Are they
really.
Dating sites?
Well, some of them are. Some Whisper is not a dating site per se, and neither is a Scout might be more along the lines of a dating site. Yeah, stuff like that.
Michael doesn't realize it, but everything he said here is very much in line with what other predators have said after they've been caught. It seems, based solely on the statement here, that Manzi is dealing with some serious self-esteem issues. He's looking for friendship and companionship anywhere he can get it. So he's lonely, isolated, and dealing with some vague psychological issues that he's yet to expand upon. That's largely in line with former FBI Special Agent John Douglas's theory of the emotionally insecure predator. He describes this kind of predator as being a man or woman who's unable for whatever reason to be in a stable adult relationship. This could be because they are unemployed, emotionally volatile, or just generally weird. Whatever the exact reason, these individuals begin targeting and sexually pursuing minors because they feel they can't engage with adults.
Use things like Snapchat or
No.
Kik or Instagram.
I've used them in the past.
Right.
Not
Facebook or Facebook Messenger.
Well, yes, but that's between friends and stuff. So. Yeah.
So up until yesterday, actually, I'd never heard of Whisper. So tell me how it works.
People will just post things on there, and if you feel like it's interesting to what you have to say or what you want to do or say or whatever, then you answer it.
Is it do you create a profile?
No. It's all anonymous. People just post things up online, and that's that.
Is it regional?
I guess so.
Again, because I've never actually seen it. I didn't hear about it today.
It could be.
So you just post something on a board or a site,
exactly.
and then people look at it. And you put your picture up there, that kind of stuff.
I mean, you could if you really want to.
All right, so tell me about how you started meeting with or chatting with.
I remember just chatting with her. Really.
What was her name?
I really don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know.
And
Not
about-
this moment. I
yeah.
might remember it during our conversation.
Yeah, if you could just
considering
throw
all
it
the
out,
stuff
'cause
that's coming
So,
to me right now.
about how long ago do you think you started chatting with her?
Oh, I mean, it had to be a couple days. It was only a few days. It was probably,
Today's October 4th, I think.
well, today's Sunday, right? So probably Thursday or Friday.
This first time you had any contact with her?
Yeah.
And how did it start?
Well, she had a posting up on there about wanting to, people wanting to come, people chilling and things like that, but that they might as well bring like bring some food, and she said something about chilling in Netflix, and that they should be bringing food and and I guess marijuana. Yeah.
So the post was that the 13-year-old wanted to Netflix and chill. At the time, that phrase was commonly used as a way to say they wanted to sleep with someone, though it has since fallen out of favor as far as we could find. Michael either doesn't know that or he's deliberately trying to obfuscate that fact by not using the phrase correctly. Based on his general age and the fact that he responded to the post at all, it's likely the latter.
Is what her post had said. So, but it didn't say anything about anybody's age or anything else whatsoever, you know.
So you guys started chatting?
We just started chatting that way, you know, and then like throughout the conversation, later on throughout the conversation, you know, obviously it had come out how old she was.
Yeah.
But our conversation, we were just chatting the entire time until then.
Remember what kind of topics you guys were talking about?
We spoke about food. We spoke about weed. We spoke about hanging out. And watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
And that was mostly it. We didn't speak about any kind of like sexual things whatsoever. I mean, she's, you know, this is a 13-year-old,
Yeah.
you know, obviously. Obviously, maybe not obviously, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that was the bulk of what we spoke about.
Food, weed, and kind of just hanging out.
Pretty
watching TV and stuff?
Pretty much.
What did you think when she said she was 13?
I mean, at first that, you know, I was a little alarmed that, you know, of the age, you know, but with, you know, I really felt like there was definitely a position that she was putting herself in that wasn't going to be a good one.
Yeah.
You know, depending who, you know, she could have been talking to somebody else who wasn't like me, you know, and they might have tried to do something else to her or tried to act in a certain way, you know, to really harm her or to have more of a sexual intent to go and
With her.
Yeah. So
at what point, she told you she was 13. You continued
well, we
talking.
did continue talking. Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did continue talking. Yeah.
about the same type of things? Just
Basically, yes.
Food, weed, and
you can
chilling.
I think you have.
Yeah,
it
I have
probably.
some.
So you can see it. You know. We never discussed doing anything sexual to each other. We never discussed making advancements towards each other like that. I mean,
I read through them.
yeah, go ahead.
There's there wasn't any explicit sex talk. You threw a couple pieces of bait out there for her to see if she'd bite at it.
Well, not necessarily. If you want, you can pull it out. I would like to look at it.
Yeah, well,
But definitely.
Yeah, no, there was no. Again, there's no straight sex talk.
Yeah, I mean, we're just talking
Yeah,
here too.
So,
I think we're just talking. I don't
yeah,
know.
we are.
I feel relaxed to talk
That's good. I'm glad. That's
to
because
you. Yeah.
it is important for us to kind of get this out.
Yeah, I mean,
Because right now we have Mike, a 32-year-old from Stanford or New York,
Harrison. Yeah.
who comes to Fairfield
Mm-hmm.
to meet a 13-year-old girl.
Right. Right.
It's a problem.
Right.
So that's why I need to kind of get through this. So,
A couple of things stand out here. First is the fact that Michael tries to differentiate between him going to visit the 13-year-old and a different adult man going over to the Sting house. But as far as we are concerned, any stranger past the age of 18 going over to a 13-year-old's house when they're home alone is virtually the same. There's obviously no reason why that person should feel comfortable doing this, especially if all of their conversations have been online thus far. If you're going over to a minor's home deliberately when their family isn't there and wouldn't know that you were there, it would be foolish for anyone to assume that your intentions are pure. Mike tries to insist that he isn't like the other men who've been caught in these stings, that he was just going over to watch television with the child and nothing else. He had told Hansen that he was just being a good Samaritan towards her, as he thought her post history could indicate that other men could be trying to prey upon her, but he never asked her about that in their chats. His concern about her safety has only surfaced now, and he's being accused of wanting to prey on her. Secondly, he states that he trusts the interviewer, and that they are just, quote, talking, unquote, in order to clear things up, but that is far and away from the truth. This obviously isn't just some interview. What he says here could result in various charges and jail time, but the interviewer has done a fantastic job of deflecting from that. Manzi feels safe and comfortable, even though he really shouldn't.
just top of my head, without digging through all these, she mentioned that she cracked her back and she does yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you remember what you said?
No, we don't. But you can.
How's your downward dog?
Well, okay, yeah, but that's a yoga move still. But
It is, but
yeah,
like, come on.
I mean,
I'm
I
a guy,
understand-
you're a guy.
I
I
understand.
get it.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How's your downward dog? LOL, I think is what it was. So,
Mhm.
I mean, how old are you?
I'm 32.
All right, I've been doing this for 30 years, almost as long as you've been alive. I know. I text people. I know. Right, throwing it out there. Let's see what she says. She didn't bite at it. Whether
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
So I mean, I read all these. I mean, there's there's pages and pages.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And most of it is just
Like I said,
food,
right?
weed, chilling.
That's what I said.
Every once in a while, you threw a little bait out. You threw a
Yeah,
little.
but there's. I get.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
get where you're trying to go with this,
Yeah.
but regardless, like I know what the conversation mainly
Right,
was.
right,
I mean,
absolutely.
and you do too.
Absolutely, I
You
do.
know, so you're not.
Absolutely, I do.
You're not disagreeing with me.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
I'm just making
But
sure.
But are you disagreeing with me that you kind of threw a little
I'm disagreeing the intent that you're trying to. You might be feeling like I was trying to get from it. You
right
know,
to see if she would say, would you like to see it or anything like that?
Well, I mean, I can't. That's not where the conversation was going, nor intended to go anywhere, because.
It just never
Like
went
you
that
said,
way.
well,
All right. So you talked to her for a couple weeks.
no, a couple days.
A couple days.
Just a couple days.
Then you. How do we get to today?
Well, we get to today because she had been talking about trying to meet up and hang out. And I had agreed, I believe, and I was quite hesitant about it several times, and about her coming to, coming to Stanford or coming up to see me, which she also said she could do. But in any event, so basically that's, we had discussed it, and that was basically where we went.
And you made
trying
plans to come up.
Well, I made plans to try and come up here and just to see what's going on.
And what was you guys going to do today?
Well, I was coming over here. All I knew there was a 13-year-old girl. I did not know. I didn't even know if she was 13. She said she was 13.
Yeah.
How do you know if she's 13? How do you know if I'm 32? Other than my age.
Yeah.
But like I've been. I came up this. The app was kind of giving.
Your birthday? A couple days.
Just a couple days.
Then you. How do we get to today?
Well, we get to today because she had been talking about trying to meet up and hang out, and I had agreed.
I know I could get in trouble for even talking to you.
Well, my only plan that was the end. How do you know if she's 13? How do you know if I'm 32? Other than my age.
Yeah.
But like I've been. you know, I came up this way because I wanted to see what was going on, and obviously I did find out what was going on. My plan strictly was just going to be hanging out. That was it. That was all. My only plan. I had no other intent with this girl whatsoever. Because, like you said, and I said before, she was young. She's 13, so that, you know, that's not the type of person I am. So.
Did you understand the repercussions of potentially hanging out with a 13-year-old?
Well, no, actually, I did not. I didn't realize that just by the act of you going to hang out with somebody who was under a certain age would actually get you in trouble. So I did not know that.
Did it ever cross your mind?
It did cross my mind for a moment, but I didn't think that I actually could get in trouble going to hang out with her. I mean, I did say to her, you know, obviously a couple times, like, that might, you know, I might have trouble if that was, you know, if I did go, but I'm not.
Yeah, well, you're cute and cool too. I know I could get in trouble for even talking to you.
Well, there you go.
So,
And then I must have been some issue, but I really didn't think that I could go and get in trouble 100% going to hang out with someone who was
a 13-year-old girl, knowing that her parents aren't home.
Well, if I'm not doing anything that's, number one, you know, anything that's sexual, or two, trying to do anything along those lines.
Right.
You know, people do this all the time where they go meet up in the mall and go hang out, and they're in public. You know, what's the big difference? You know?
The big difference is 32 and 13.
Michael's done a pretty good job thus far of sticking to his story. Anytime the interrogator tries to push past the idea that he was throwing bait out to the decoy to see if she was willing to flirt or show any signs of sexual interest, he pushes back against that notion. He's being direct about what happened and refusing to back down from that point. And because all the interviewer has to go off of is implications, there's very little he can do. Mike says that he didn't know he could get into trouble, but obviously based on his own chat logs and statements, that isn't accurate. But even without the chat logs, we could see that he doesn't really believe that. Ask yourself this question: if what Mike is saying is really true here, why would he only go to the minor's house when her parents were away? Why would that be the opportune moment for him to go meet up with a 13-year-old who he'd been talking to online for days at that point?
I understand
you get
the
that?
age.
You get the difference?
No, I do. I do.
Okay.
I understand the age difference.
And it's important that you understand that.
I do. I understand the age difference, and
Right.
and that's why I really was not intending on doing anything with this girl, because she was young, and like I said, if she had met somebody else who maybe didn't have those intentions, or did have further intentions, worse intentions, she could have gotten really in trouble. She could have gotten hurt, perhaps, you know.
So, if I remember right, did you say something when you were at the house that you came there to kind of teach her that you weren't that this was a wrong thing to do, to meet somebody?
Well, I didn't necessarily say it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're phrasing it a lot better than I had at the moment, because I was so like.
You were taken by surprise. Yeah.
Well, yes, you know.
Was that just?
May I ask for a second, because I'm just a little, you know. I know this is an interview, and I know you don't know me, and I don't know you, but you do seem like a nice guy, and I don't know what your impression is.
My impression
of me yet. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
the
I have
paper.
this.
Well, the paperwork, and me sitting here.
Right.
But like, I don't know. I'm just like in a.
No,
Are you? I know you're not trying to like be my friend, but you seem like a nice guy. I'm trying to talk to you. I'm not.
and that's.
I don't want like. Okay, I'm sorry.
Believe me, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not sitting here judging what you're doing. My job is fact-based. It's
Right.
what happened.
Right.
And I want to get a clear picture of what happened and how we got here.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm not judging you. I'm not thinking, what the heck is wrong with you? But, if you say something that, I think we need to clarify, I'm going to clarify it.
Of course.
So,
of course,
so when
of
you
course.
talk about going to the mall to meet somebody,
I'm just
that's a little
saying.
different. And I know you just,
But
right.
that's why I said it, because to me, like that's no different than what just has
Yeah.
has transpired.
No, I got it.
It almost isn't any different. But
Right.
go ahead.
Despite being more intelligent than the majority of the predators we've covered, he immediately falls into the interviewer's trap. He is aware that this is a police interview, that this is a person who is only engaging with him because of his own criminal behavior, and yet he asks for reassurance that he's coming across well and that the interviewer likes him, which is absurd. But once more, the interviewer diffuses the situation and provides the reassurance that Manzi desires. It's truly remarkable to watch. The interviewer has tried to get Mike to change his statements but has been unsuccessful. Continuing to push the 32-year-old would just result in him clamming up and asking for a lawyer. So instead, he begins to pivot the line of questioning towards Michael's love of weed.
So, had this, let me just put a hypothetical out there. Had this not been what it was, with us there and other people there, and it was you and this 13-year-old girl, what do you think would have happened today?
Well, I could only tell you what would have happened on my end. Number one. Number two, I mean, I would have gone there, and she said that her mother was coming home today.
Right.
Until about 6 o'clock. So I was gonna go there. I was gonna go hang out. And if her mother ended up, coming in, I would have explained to her what was going on. But that, besides that would have been. That's all I would have done.
Were you guys going to go out to eat or anything? I know you guys talk about food a lot in here.
We did talk a lot about food, but we didn't.
I was getting hungry then. Actually,
I wasn't sure.
Text.
I have no idea of
All
what
right.
was,
You guys talk about weed a lot.
Yeah, we spoke about that a little bit. Yeah.
Were the plan to smoke and eat?
I mean, I was planning on trying to just like I said, being there, making sure things were okay. I would have definitely sat down and ate. I would have hung out,
Morning.
But
If you
that's,
try to
that's pretty
say
much it.
good morning,
You don't
they'll
have
knock
any weed
that
on you?
smirk off your face.
Not-
Doing
No,
one job
not when they arrested me.
So you don't have any, you didn't bring any weed?
I don't have anything at all. They gave me a ticket.
I don't like it. You better not
They
fuck
gave me a
this
ticket
up.
for having
I'll
paraphernalia.
cut your goddamn
Where was
throat.
that?
Huh?
Where was the paraphernalia?
That was in my vehicle.
Oh, it was, okay.
Yeah.
Did you have any marijuana in your car?
I think there was a little bit less than. I don't know. They had the ticket downstairs, but
Okay.
yes, there was.
All right, there was some marijuana. So, safe to say that had there been a 13-year-old girl, you would have sat down, hung out, had some food. Hey, we talked about Blaze, I got some stuff out in the car, you guys would have smoked.
Well, I really can't. I really can't tell you. I really can't tell you.
Can't or
That
don't
way.
want to?
No, I really just can't tell you because it's really first
Well, that's
you're
the-
going there and you're trying to get a feel for the person and see what the situation's like. I mean, that was the intent of. I mean, you've got it right here.
Yeah,
You
I
can
know.
go ahead and bring it up. I'll talk to you about it.
All right.
I have nothing to.
And I didn't smoke, LOL. I could fix that,
Oh,
I believe, that's what you said.
yeah.
Um, let's see. Money going to chill. There's a couple more here, but regardless. I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead.
you know, did you blaze? Still hanging out. Definitely blaze beforehand. I just blazed, don't tempt me. So, obviously, how often do you smoke marijuana?
Nice.
Decent
I
amount?
probably smoke a decent amount. Yes.
Do you smoke every day, you think?
Probably close
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
I go through ups and downs really with it. It's like there's a very long period of time where it's not smoke at all and I start smoking again and then it's just like yeah. It's just not good.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
Have you ever been arrested before for anything?
No.
Never? Nothing that was an arrest that was cleared up or nothing like that, nothing at all?
No, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
And what other work do you do besides tutoring?
That's it. Just trying to find work. That's it.
Do you work on your own or with a
Self-employed.
company?
Self-employed.
And do you have a company name or is
No,
it
I do not.
just word of mouth? And what do you I saw your
more or
Math,
less.
you tutor
I mean,
math?
that's, yeah.
Yeah, you're your math tutor, or do you tutor anything and everything?
Math, it could be, I mean, if I can, I'll tutor it, yeah.
Well, you said you had
Math is specifically, but if I can, I'll tutor it. Yeah.
you had a client today that you worked with. Was that math, or did you not have a client today? Before that you came today,
I did.
you did. Was
Yes.
that math, or
Yes,
was
it
it
was.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to get an idea of
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
kind of stuff,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stuff you teach.
Yeah.
Did you work? What kind of work have you done between college
It's,
and now?
it's literally just that, just
Just
tutoring,
tutoring?
just working
So you're
myself.
full time,
Just self-employed.
and is it high school, middle school, grammar school, anybody?
It's usually, it's pretty much anybody.
Yeah. What levels of math do you go up to?
It's anybody, so it goes up to like calculus.
Is that what'd you major with in school? Did you major in math?
Yes.
And where'd you get your degree from?
I own a college.
And that's in all right, so you understand why
Oh, of course, 100%.
we have a 32-year-old guy
Mhm.
talking about smoking marijuana, hanging out with a 13-year-old, drive from Stanford to Fairfield with marijuana, and what kind of vapor is that that's in? There's liquid?
Oh, that was
Or is that-
that's
we'll
like
test
a,
it
it's
today.
that's just a
It's not like a hash
it's just
oil?
like an
Oh, it's an
e-cigarette.
e-cigarette.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's something along those lines. Yeah.
Alright. You know, had the marijuana hidden in a Cheetos box.
Well, yes, but that was for my own safety
Yeah.
as well. I mean,
So you see the issue.
yes, I do.
Alright.
Yes, I do.
And you see the
Severity of it.
severity
Yes.
and the importance of
Being honest and talking to you and all of this. Yes, I do.
Okay. So what do you think? Would you have any questions for me about from here out what's going on? I know I told you when
Well, you
we were
told
driving
me
in
you
that
told me you
I'd
talked
answer
to me
whatever
upstairs.
questions.
So
Do you have questions?
I do have questions.
Go.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
just like
I got you.
trying to like
Ask me whatever you want.
figure this all out.
Yeah, no, I got it. It's,
Well, I have a lot of questions I don't want to answer. I probably don't want the answer to at this point. But okay, first question. My vehicle.
your vehicle is being towed. It was
Oh.
brought here. We inventoried it,
Uh-huh.
and then it's going to be towed, and I'll find out. No matter of fact, I'm going to be.
Oh, is it pre-towed? Like, is it? Can I have somebody come pick it up?
It's,
or-
it's gone already.
Okay.
It was towed by.
So I won't be
It's
able.
not
To,
on here.
so I won't be able to get the vehicle. So
No, probably not. Well,
am, I
yeah,
going,
maybe.
am I going to jail today?
Well, here's the deal. You were charged with criminal attempt to get risk of injury to a minor, and then the possession of marijuana was the infraction.
Right.
So once we go downstairs, the shift commander will look at the charges and set a bond for you. And once you figure out what that bond is, you have the option of trying to call somebody, post your bond for somebody to get you out of here. If they don't post your bond,
I go to jail.
you'll stay here tonight, and you'll go to court tomorrow. You go get arraigned in front of the judge, and the judge can either raise your bond, lower your bond, keep it the same, or get rid of it. Those are the options that, and the judge will look at the merits of the case and decide what's going to happen. You will then again sometimes then give no, after the opportunity if the bond is lowered, you have to post your bond as well. Okay, so that's kind of the process. Once you figure out your bond, you can make a phone call and get somebody to try to work on getting it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? You understand it?
I'm just letting it sink in for a second.
I
but
got you.
yes.
I got you.
Is that okay, or do
I
do,
don't know.
like, do you have to run
No,
or
we
something?
can sit right here. We're good.
Okay.
While you think about it, let me ask you. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask what specifically gave you the charge.
because you brought marijuana.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's freezing up here, I know. Because you brought marijuana up to Fairfield to meet a 13-year-old girl. And all of this chat was talking about coming up and meeting a 13-year-old.
And if I did not bring marijuana with me?
There probably would have been an issue as well. You probably would have been charged with that. Because it's, the way the statutes are written, it's 33-year-old man meeting a 13-year-old girl online, coming up to her house,
Okay.
and she's alone in her house.
Okay.
That's a problem.
Well, yes, I do understand that.
And that's,
I know. But like I said, immediately when I got there, I said, do you mind if I take a look around? I mean, you know.
I understand that. And if I'll go back to your,
I mean, yeah,
your
yeah,
analogy
yeah,
of
yeah.
meeting at the mall.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's not the same thing. There are inherent dangers for you and for a 13-year-old girl for you coming to her house. If you went to your buddy's house, would you say, hey, let me look around, I gotta make sure nothing's going on? Make sure there's nobody hiding on you, right? Of course not.
I trust
Right.
my buddy. I don't know what's going on.
So
I've never
you're-
met this person before. How
So
can I?
you're putting a
Without this.
13-year-old girl
Uh-huh.
into some sort of danger. A 13-year-old who can't make those decisions and judgments on their own because of their age, and that's why they have the law. It's putting a minor, a 13-year-old, at risk of injury. That's the way the statute's written. So, yeah, I would.
Even though the gun.
13-year-old girl
Yeah.
who can't make those judgments on their own because
Mike is just now being confronted with the summation of charges against him, and the fact that regardless of how he tries to spin the situation, what he did was a crime. He tries to defend himself by saying that he hadn't brought a weapon, so he wasn't really endangering a minor. But that doesn't hold up to any real line of thinking. First off, a 30-year-old male obviously poses a threat to any girl under the age of 18. It doesn't matter if they're carrying a weapon or not. They could still easily harm the minor and take advantage of them. Moreover, he had brought marijuana with him with the direct intention to smoke with the child. While weed is no longer considered a hard drug, studies have shown that it's not good for teenage development. It would be similar if he brought the minor beer. He wanted to impair the 13-year-old's judgment illegally, and that is still considered endangering a minor.
and your 32-year-old man, grown man, coming to the house. It's a problem.
Fair enough.
Okay. One of the things we're gonna do at some point is we're gonna get a search warrant, we're gonna go through your phone, or a flash search, go to your phone, get copies of everything here, again, because we wanna make sure stuff is. Is there a passcode on your phone?
Yes.
Just so we don't have to do
Yeah, it's
any damage on it, so maybe try to. You didn't have any computers or iPads, I think that we communicate with.
no, just my iPhone.
Right, that's right. What's your phone?
There's no way I can like just let my dad know right now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, like now, so I can tell him to come here.
We're gonna go right downstairs and what you call, because you'll use the phone, the booking phone down there. And there's no use calling,
Just have a minute, like
Yeah,
sitting
absolutely.
here for a second.
there's no use calling right now if you don't know the bond.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, unfortunately, it's not unlimited phone calls,
Yeah, yeah.
so, again, from here on, I think you need to, and maybe because you're in the moment, and this is, you have a lot of stuff on you right now, you need to see the bigger picture of,
I understand
It's a
where
problem.
you guys are coming
it's
from.
a problem what you did.
I
Regardless of
understand.
marijuana, it's a problem.
I
It's a
understand.
problem, a 32-year-old chatting up a 13-year-old about,
Well, I mean, you can probably see she's chatting me up too.
Oh,
I was not.
I understand it.
Does that
But here's,
does that do anything or no? It doesn't matter.
no. Here's the thing. What should happen is you're on Whisper, you're on whatever.
Oh,
Hey, how are you?
Like
Like,
13, goodbye.
I like your app, I
Yeah.
like your picture, whatever. We talk about food. Hey, how old are you? 13. Oh, all right. I'm sure you're very nice, but have a nice day. That's what should be happening. And believe me, I get the whole, what you explained, you're going through things and texting and all these apps, and it's an easy way to communicate with people. And if you're not overly comfortable doing it face to face or whatever, it's an easy way to do it. I get it. I understand it. 100% I get it. But it there's that level of anonymity between the two people that makes it easy. But when you close that gap of anonymity, you have to make sure that you're not dealing with a 13-year-old. Obviously, because you're here. And there's nothing wrong with going on these apps and talking and doing whatever. But as soon as somebody says I'm 13 or I'm 15, we gotta say, thanks. I'm good.
Yeah.
I think you're smart enough to know that. Just
Does this stop at all, or?
yeah, it'll turn off when we leave. Yeah, it's all right. Let me get you downstairs so you can call your dad and see how time you're out. All right.
Yeah. Can I? I don't even know what
No, I understand.
it's just very, very. Am I gonna be looking at my car today? You said or no?
I'm not sure if you call the garage and they can come meet you there. Maybe.
Yeah, I have to pay it for a tow.
Yeah, they have to
too,
pay for a
right?
tow.
Do you know how much that is?
Ballpark is like 120 maybe, but I'm not
Okay.
positive. You had some cash, I think, in your.
Yeah, I had a little bit of cash in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I saw 100, and I don't know if there's something else.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple hundred in there. So, but we'll give you the number. We'll give you all that.
Okay.
All right.
Following the interview, Mike was charged with criminal attempt to commit risk or injury to a minor. Due to bringing marijuana to the Sting House, he was not charged with preying upon her, despite his inclusion on the show. He would plead guilty to the charge and was given a suspended sentence of 3 years and was placed on probation. This interview is incredibly interesting, as Mike never fully backed down from his original statement, despite the interrogation tactics being largely effective. But let us know what you thought in the comments down below. As always, if there's a video you would like to see on the channel or a story you want to bring more attention to, let us know by emailing me at dreading.official@gmail.com. We're continuously going through the email and adding your suggestions to our list. So with all of that said, we hope you're still having a happy holiday, and remember, stay safe. Welcome back to another episode of Dreading, or if this is your first time here, welcome. Today we're going to be covering the recent updates in the case of Morgan Geyser.
Sometimes it's best to not even hear because we were careless. I knew this would happen. I knew we'd get in trouble. Yes.
Why do you think it was your sleepover night that you're
Because we would all be together. It was all this plan.
Welcome back to another episode of Dreading, or if this is your first time here, welcome. Today we're going to be finishing our coverage of the Slender Man stabbing case, this time going over the interrogation and the recent updates surrounding Morgan Geyser. This video is the second part of our coverage for this case, and as such, I highly encourage you to go and watch the first episode, which we uploaded yesterday as a part of our Dreadmas celebration. But as that is a multi-hour video, and we likely don't have the time to dedicate to watching both parts, we'll summarize the case details to the best of our abilities here. But before we do that, as always, if there is a case you would like to bring more attention to or a story you want us to cover, let us know by emailing us at dreading.official@gmail.com. We're consistently going through the mail and adding your suggestions to our list so we can begin our research process. But be aware, we are an incredibly small team, meaning that it will take us some time before we get to every suggestion, but we promise we are trying. So with all of that said, let us begin. So there are 3 girls involved in this story: Morgan Geyser, Anissa Weier, and Peyton Leitner, who preferred to go by Bella. Bella and Morgan had been friends since the 4th grade, when Bella noticed the other girl sitting alone at recess. Bella had befriended Morgan because she felt that no one deserved to be alone, and over time the two became close. However, Morgan was extremely mentally unwell and was dealing with undiagnosed schizophrenia. Morgan would state that she had seen hallucinations since she was a child, in the form of colors melting down the walls and interacting with characters from movies, television, and books that she would read. In one instance, she would claim that Severus Snape from the Harry Potter series would appear in her room at night and keep her from sleeping. Her favorite forms of play involved her disappearing into a world of her own imagination. Sometimes she would pretend to be a cat for hours, rubbing herself on others and then attacking them if they didn't react the way that she wanted. She was extremely impressionable and gullible, believing in Santa Claus until she was 11 years old, far past any of her classmates, and she would generally lose herself in fantasy worlds whenever she found a new work of fiction she liked. Most kids unfortunately found her strange and off-putting, but Bella stuck beside her through thick and thin. Then Anissa came into the picture. Anissa Weier was like Morgan, and most of her classmates found her to be uncomfortable and odd. She was fascinated with the world of creepypastas and online urban legends. She was a bit standoffish when it came to talking about her interests, and would often talk down to those who tried to engage with her pleasantly. When she would change schools in the 6th grade, she found it difficult to make new friends. But she found a kinship with Morgan. The girls lived in the same apartment building and took the same bus to school every morning. And after a few days of being in such close proximity, the two found they had a shared interest in Slender Man. For those who don't know, Slender Man is an online urban legend, not unlike the Boogeyman or Bloody Mary. His origins can be traced to a forum's Photoshop contest, where the creator posted ominously about how the character could be seen in the background of photos before a tragedy struck. These images inspired multiple other individuals to make their own photos, videos, movies, games, and general lore about the character. But he was one of the many creepypasta characters that the girls were interested in. These characters were also works of fiction that were created online in creative writing spaces. They were made in order to try and gain likes and farm engagement. And these works quickly took off, mostly because young teens enjoy feeling scared, while ultimately staying safe. Anissa and Morgan were obsessed with these characters, much in the way that young people become obsessed with boy bands or sports. They idolized them, but also fantasized about what it would be like to be them. They wanted to be cool, interesting, and ultimately feared. Morgan, having seen visual hallucinations most of her entire life, would tell Anissa that she had seen Slender Man when she was younger, that he had visited her since she was about 5 years old, and that he could be seen in their family photos. His non-specific appearance made it easy to cast him in her memories, and her mind quickly attached itself to his image and likeness. Anissa obviously thought this was cool, given her genuine fascination with the subject, and the more she spoke to Morgan about him, the more she believed that Slender was not only real, but she had probably seen him too. And over time, the girls grew closer, slowly wedging Bella out of the group. Bella didn't enjoy creepypastas or Anissa, and felt as if her relationship with Morgan was becoming strained. She talked to her mom about wanting to not be friends with her anymore, but every time she attempted to gain some distance, Morgan would apologize and seem genuinely upset about their friendship ending. And so she continued to hang out with both girls, hoping that they would eventually lose interest in the child-killing monster. But that didn't happen. Instead, in February of 2014, Morgan would ask Anissa if she was interested in becoming a proxy for Slender. A proxy is essentially a servant or a puppet to the entity, lacking free will or agency. In popular depictions of proxies in various shows and movies, it's not a generally fun or glamorous ordeal. However, there was enough cool fan art online to make it appealing to both girls. So these were two young girls who felt alone and isolated, even though they were surrounded by people. Their peers looked at them like they were freaks. And so they felt a kinship with these paranormal creatures who were viewed in the same way. Being in league with Slender and his proxies meant having a community and finally feeling as if they belonged. And so Anissa agreed. However, the price of becoming a proxy was the murder of another child, and the girls ultimately chose Bella, their only friend, to be their victim. Though the girls understood that what they were doing was wrong, they were unable to grasp the gravity of their actions. They plotted the sacrifice for months on the bus at school, using sneaky code phrases to disguise what they were talking about. Morgan told Anissa that every year for her birthday, she would be allowed to have a slumber party with 2 of her classmates. It would be easiest for them to attack Bella that night while she was sleeping in bed. Morgan would wake up at around 2 a.m., having set an alarm on her phone or iPad. She would then wake Anissa up, and they would cover Bella's mouth with duct tape. Once she was unable to scream and call attention to herself, one of the girls would stab her in the neck before covering her with blankets and leaving her on the bunk bed. This would ensure that her body wouldn't be found until the next day, since her parents would allow the girls to sleep in on her birthday. After they had murdered Bella, The pair would then set off on a 162-mile walk to the Nicollet National Forest, where they believed that Slenderman and his proxies lived, in his Slender Mansion. Obviously, to any adult listening to this plan, there are a lot of obvious, nonsensical holes in this plot, not least of which is the idea that the two girls who would describe themselves as unathletic would be able to walk nearly 200 miles without drawing any attention. But apparently that hadn't occurred to them, because they were 12 years old. They had no real-world experience to speak of, and believed that committing and getting away with the murder would be as easy as the creepypastas had made it out to be. The attack was set to take place on Friday, May 30th, 2014, but almost immediately, their carefully constructed plan hit a snag. The girls had believed that they would be going to Skateland, which was a local roller rink, on Saturday the 31st after the sleepover. However, Morgan's parents told her that they would be taking the group that night instead. Bella, Morgan, and Anissa spent the night skating around, having fun, and eating birthday cake, to the point where the murderous duo ultimately decided that they were too tired to murder their friend, especially if they had to trek 200 miles afterwards. The next morning, while Bella was getting dressed, Morgan and Anissa quickly came up with a new plan. Morgan would sneak a knife out of the kitchen, and the trio would go to a local park. There, they would bring Bella into a bathroom stall. Anissa would then knock her out, and Morgan would kill her. They believed that this would be the best place to kill their friend, because the bathroom had a drain in it, so they could easily clean the blood up. And then they could place her on a toilet seat and lock her in the stall, which would keep her body from being found until they were gone. Again, this plan has obvious flaws in it, but Morgan would later say it was ingenious and almost guaranteed to work. But once in the park bathroom, both Anissa and Morgan would be unable to go through with the murder. Anissa tried to knock her best friend out, but found that it was simply too hard. And once Morgan was tasked with actually hurting Bella in the stall, she broke down, repeating that she couldn't do it before pretending to be a cat. And I always say that. But according to Anissa, she then had to pet Morgan for a few minutes until she reverted back into her person form. By this point, Bella believed her friends were acting strange, but no stranger than usual. They were excluding her, but she had become used to this sort of treatment. While Anissa comforted Morgan, she hung around the bathroom, keeping mostly to herself. She had no idea that, at that moment, her two closest friends had come up with a third plan to murder her. They told Bella they wanted to play hide-and-seek. Morgan would be it, meaning that Anissa and Bella would go hide in the wooded area nearby. Bella didn't want to play, and told both girls as much, but they promised that if she did, they would do whatever she wanted after. The 12-year-old ultimately capitulated to her friend's request, and followed Anissa into the woods. There, Anissa told her to lay down on the ground, so she could cover her with leaves to hide from Morgan. Again, Bella said no. The ground was wet, and she didn't want to get her clothes dirty. By this point, Anissa was visibly frustrated. Every attempt to kill Bella had gone wrong, and her victim wasn't complying the way she thought she would. She was able to get Bella to sit down, then went to retrieve Morgan. She would describe that they were like, quote, two lionesses hunting a zebra, unquote, when they returned. Morgan told Anissa that she would only attack Bella when the other girl gave the order, and when they arrived, Anissa told her, quote, to go ballistic, unquote. Morgan would then stab the girl who befriended her when she had nobody else 19 times, hitting 2 major organs and missing her heart and a major artery by the width of a hair. During the attack, Bella attempted to fight back and screamed that she hated both of the girls. As her body began to give out, the two friends told her that they were going to get help and that it would be better if she laid down until they returned. The pair then left, beginning their journey to the Slender Mansion. But Bella wasn't dead yet. She was a smart girl and knew that her former friends probably weren't going to save her. She then mustered all of her strength and picked herself up and made her way to an open area near a bike path. There she collapsed on a grassy hill until a cyclist found her.
I'd shake your hand, but I bet you got dysentery. The way you smell.
Because of her quick thinking and the actions of the passing cyclist, Bella was able to survive her attack and get help. But before she was taken to emergency surgery, she told the police exactly what happened and who had done it. Nearly 5 hours later, Anissa and Morgan would be picked up by the police and arrested for the attempted murder. The following is Morgan Geyser's police interview, done just 7 hours after the attack on Bella Leitner, as made available by Down the Rabbit Hole True Crime here on YouTube. Their channel was able to gain access to this footage through a Freedom of Information Act request, and made the footage public for channels like ours to review it. If you would like to watch the footage in full without our commentary, a link will be left in the description box down below. Channels like theirs are the reason that channels like ours can exist. And even if you don't watch their upload in full, I highly encourage you to send them some support. We reacted to Anissa's interview yesterday, and a link will be left in the description box down below for that as well, should you want to watch the original footage. But this interview is patently different from Anissa's in almost every way. Firstly, Anissa was able to recall almost everything that happened with startling clarity. Despite the fact that she was talking about the plotting and attempted murder of her friend, she gave dates, times, and locations without issue, with showing little emotion. The only emotion she seemed to feel was sadness, which largely stemmed from the repercussions of her actions. But that is not the case with Morgan. Morgan's interview is almost entirely scattered, with her changing her story, giving a false version of events that she believes to be the truth, or close enough to the truth that it won't really matter, and then randomly breaking out in laughter because she remembered a funny YouTube video. She also gets noticeably irritated throughout the interview, especially when she's asked the same question in different ways. Morgan is incredibly flippant about what happened, to the point where one would assume that she'd been caught shoplifting a 50-cent chapstick and not been brought in for an attempted murder. Her demeanor shows clearly how scattered and childish she was at the time of the attack, and how little credibility she has as a narrator. The interview shows clearly just how mentally unwell the 12-year-old is, and how, despite her horrific actions, she is definitely not in her right mind. It should also be stated that the interviewer in this case is unable to ingratiate himself to the murderous teen the way the other detective who spoke to Anissa had. At times, the way they interact feels like a principal reprimanding a student, as he is curt with the would-be killer. While this method of interrogation isn't something that we would see often, it's useful here, because it keeps Morgan mostly on track. He doesn't get bogged down by some of the stranger things that she's saying, but instead moves forward and tries to follow her version of events as much as possible. It's fair to say that he realized that she wasn't mentally well early in the interrogation, and decided that being as to the point as possible is the best way to navigate the interview. So with all of that said, let's watch.
Police department. Okay. And something happened today with it's like two of your friends. And so I gotta talk to you about that for a little bit. I got some questions for you today. But just before that, I just want to find out a little bit more about you. So it's Morgan Geyser, is that how you say it? And you were born in 5/16 of 02. How old are you?
12.
So you just had a birthday not too long ago? What'd you do for your birthday?
Sorry.
It's alright.
Oh yeah. Mommy and I had sushi and cupcakes and daddy's.
You live with your mom and dad or just one?
Both.
So you and your mom had sushi? Where'd you have sushi at?
My daddy was there too. At home.
You guys bought it someplace and brought it home? How'd you like that?
It was fun.
What's your favorite kind of sushi?
I only eat some with vegetables.
That's funny, my daughter just had her 11th birthday and we had sushi for her birthday too. You're a year older than her though, but her birthday was last week too. Pretty close in age. It's funny that you guys both like sushi. So you had sushi before that, or is that sort of the first time?
Here, the interrogator attempts to find some common ground with Morgan by talking about his daughter, and how she also likes sushi. It's a pretty weak effort, one that most would be able to see through, but it's notable that Morgan doesn't respond at all. She just sits there silently looking at him. We've spoken before about how silence can be used as a tool in police interviews, how an interrogator will fall silent in order to elicit further details from a suspect, because they'll feel uncomfortable and want to break the tension. But here, that is flipped on its head. Morgan is the one sitting quietly, which makes the encounter feel uncomfortable for both the interviewer and us watching at home. The fact that she is so unaffected by her direct surroundings is significant, because it's not how most people would respond. Like Anissa, she lacks the capacity to understand the gravity of the situation she's found herself in at the present moment. But the interviewer will try and continue to connect with the attempted murderer, to pretty terrible results.
So did you guys get presents for your birthday?
So fuck off!
What'd you get?
It's to a Star Trek convention.
Where's that at?
I don't know.
When is it coming up, or
Soon.
you like Star Trek?
Yeah.
Who likes Star Trek, your mom or dad?
Both.
Really? for Halloween. What were you last year?
This year and the year before.
Wonderful.
I was shocked this year and then last year.
Five.
And last year I was a vampire.
That doesn't sound like it's Star Trek related.
No.
Why'd you pick a vampire?
Because all the other costumes look a bit showy. I mean, I don't like wearing short sleeves or booby stuff. They were too revealing.
That makes sense. Where do you go to school at?
My name?
Over here.
6th grade.
How are you doing in school? Very grades.
I think I do pretty good.
Did you graduate this year?
What?
Did you graduate? School's almost over in a couple weeks here. What do you think? So did you guys get like B's and C's, or you get like O's?
2s.
1, 2, 2, 3s? That always confuses me how they do 1, 2, 3s, and 4s. So my kids get 2. Then do they do like O's and O pluses and O minuses?
I don't know what that is.
No, I think it's like outstanding, satisfactory. When's your last day of school come out?
I don't know. I'm not excited though because I like school.
Really? That's good. My daughter's like that. My daughter likes school. She go year round. My son doesn't like school at all. He'd rather not have anything to do with school at all. Actually, no. Perfect. You want to try these? See if they'll keep you a little bit warmer. You won't get your feet in the dirty floor here. Yeah, maybe just flow over the top there a
Is
little
it
bit.
like in the operating room?
Yeah, a little bit. It's like you're going to be a nurse or a doctor or something here. Do you know who the president is right now?
What?
Do you know who the president of the United States is?
Yes.
Who's it?
Barack Obama.
Did you watch the news at all?
Only when I'm at my grandpa's Newton's house. And that's not very often because they don't live very close. But sometimes Grandpa watches the news in the morning.
What do you remember seeing in the news that's going on lately?
Gross thing.
What's gross thing?
Kidnapping children and then doing things to them.
Morgan states that when she watches the news, she sees them talk about, quote, gross things, unquote, and then goes on to state that those gross things include kidnapping and doing things to children. There's a glaring issue with this line of thinking from her, and given the fact that she idolizes Slender Man, whose entire lore surrounds doing just that.
Remember which time or specific incident?
Not really. I don't really pay much attention, but it's all gross.
It's all gross. What's your teachers do at school?
I have lots of teachers.
How about your homeroom teacher?
I don't have a homeroom teacher.
How about your favorite teacher?
Miss Weidenbaum.
Miss what?
Miss Weidenbaum. Weidenbaum.
Math.
Miss Weidenbaum.
Miss. Why do you like her?
Because she's nice.
What subject does she teach you?
Reading and writing.
Do you know where you're at right now?
What?
Do you know where you are right now?
Not really.
Where do you think you are?
At a police station.
When we usually observe these police interviews, there are a certain set of behaviors that are considered normal. A suspect will usually attempt to brush off the evidence that they were involved in whatever crime as being no big deal, albeit with a terse attitude. Men like Chris Watts and Chandler Houderson will attempt to seem helpful like they're an open book, while barely masking their fear of being caught. They know that the rest of their lives hangs in the balance, so they treat the interview with a certain level of importance. But not Morgan. Morgan responds fairly flippantly about who her favorite teacher is, even getting a bit annoyed when she has to repeat the name. She's playing with the socks that she was given, and is generally behaving as if the interaction doesn't matter. And as far as she is concerned, it doesn't. She's not mentally aware enough to understand what exactly is going on, beyond that she is in trouble in some nebulous way.